Letting go feels like failure, like giving up, like losing something you should have held tighter. But what if it's not? What if letting go isn't weakness, but the first sign of strength returning? They told you that holding on means you care, that pain means love, that endurance makes you worthy. But what they never told you is that real power begins the moment you stop carrying what's crushing you. You didn't stay because it was right. You stayed because you were afraid. Afraid of the silence, afraid of starting over, afraid of being the one who walks away. They praised your patience, your loyalty, your strength to endure, but they never had to carry your ache. They didn't feel the way your chest tightened every time you swallowed your truth just to keep the peace. You weren't holding on out of love. You were holding on out of fear. And fear in disguise is still fear. Letting go isn't giving up. It's choosing yourself after years of choosing silence. It's realizing that staying is costing you your voice, your peace, your identity. They called you strong for enduring. But strength isn't staying in pain. Strength is walking away even when your heart wants to stay. Because some battles aren't meant to be won. They're meant to be left behind. And the moment you realize that, you don't break, you rise. It still hurts. Not because you made the wrong choice, but because you finally honored the right one. Healing isn't instant. Letting go doesn't erase the past. It just stops it from owning your future. Some days you miss what you had, but more than that, you miss who you were before you had to hold it all together. And now, piece by piece, you're becoming that person again. Only wiser, stronger, and no longer willing to carry what was never yours to hold. There's a strange kind of freedom in the emptiness that follows release. At first, it feels like loss, but slowly, it starts to feel like space. Space to breathe, to rebuild, to hear your own voice without it being drowned by someone else's expectations. You're not losing anything that was truly yours. You're letting go of what asked you to be less, to bend, to disappear. And for the first time, you're choosing expansion over survival. You used to think strength meant staying no matter what. Now you know it means knowing when to leave. You don't owe your life to people who only loved you when you were quiet, available, or broken. You owe yourself truth. And truth isn't always soft. Sometimes it sounds like, "This no longer serves me." Sometimes it feels like walking away without guilt. Because real power isn't loud. It's firm. And it never begs to be respected. You're not who you were when you started holding on. Back then, you clung to what hurt because it was familiar, because you thought pain was proof that you were doing it right. But now, you're different. You don't crave chaos. You crave clarity. You've outgrown the version of you that tolerated confusion, explained your boundaries, and called that connection. Now you're building a life that doesn't require pain to prove it's real. Just peace, and that's enough. Now you're not reaching back, you're reaching inward. You're no longer fighting to be seen by those who chose to look away. You're choosing to see yourself, clearly, completely, unapologetically. You've stopped asking, "Was I too much?" and started asking, "Why did I ever think being whole was a threat?" Letting go taught you that your peace is non-negotiable. Your voice doesn't need permission, and your life doesn't need to shrink so others feel safe. This isn't the end, it's the first honest beginning. You stopped asking to be chosen. Now you choose yourself, not as a reaction, not out of pride, but out of clarity. You know what it costs to stay where your light is dimmed, where your needs are inconvenient, where your growth is a threat, and you're done shrinking just to fit into spaces that were never built for your becoming. Letting go isn't loss, it's alignment. It's you finally saying, I deserve more than survival. I deserve freedom. Letting go isn't just walking away from something. It's walking back to yourself, to the part of you that existed before the pleasing, before the pretending, before you learned that love meant shrinking. It's reclaiming the version of you that knew stillness wasn't laziness and peace wasn't boring. You don't owe your old story a lifetime of loyalty. You owe yourself the freedom to rewrite it on your own terms. This isn't escape. It's arrival. You no longer explain your peace. You protect it. You're not softer now. You're sharper, clearer, more rooted in who you are and what you will never tolerate again. This version of you doesn't beg for understanding. It moves with understanding. Of what hurt you, of what healed you, of what no longer fits. You're no longer asking, will they get it? You're asking, do I still get me? And now, you do. Finally. Fully. You thought letting go would break you. But it became the moment you stopped breaking for everyone else. You thought it meant losing love. But what you lost was the illusion, the performance, the pressure, the quiet betrayal of your own truth. Now, you stand lighter. Not because you have less, but because you carry only what's yours. You don't fear the silence. You welcome it. Because in the silence, you finally hear yourself again. And that voice, that clear, steady voice, isn't weak. It's free. It's yours. And it always was.